Welcome back. Let's go on to learn the methods of international payment. It is difficult to establish mutual trust between the seller and the buyer. The payment through remittance or collection are commercial credits with imbalanced financial burden and the risk of default. Letter of credit, LC, is the most commonly used method in international trade. Firstly, let's learn about the definitions, characteristics, parties, and the content of a letter of credit. Here is the definition of letter of credit. According to UCP 600, credit means any agreement, however named or described, that is irrevocable and thereby constitutes a definition, undertaking of the issuing bank to honor a complying presentation, different from remittance and collection. Letter of credit has its own characteristics. 2. Characteristics of LC. 1. Bank credit. As per the definition, letter of credit is a guarantee from the bank. Issuing bank undertaking the responsibility of the primary payer. So, LC is a kind of bank credit, which is better than commercial credit. 2. Independence. Independence is the second characteristic of LC. Once opened and became effective, LC is a document independent of the contract. The basis for bank payment is the consistency between the LC and the other documents, and is not bound by the contract. 3. Complying presentation. The bank is only responsible for checking whether the documents provided by the seller are consistent with the LC and the payment can be made if the documents are consistent. The bank does not participate in checking the actual transaction situation of the goods. Let's look at this case. Company A exported 600 pieces of women's sweaters to Company B in USA. It was contracted 180 pieces, gray, 420 pieces, red, which also show on the commercial invoice, while the relevant credit stipulated 180 pieces, red, 420 pieces, green. Company A dispatched as contracted, but the issuing bank refused to make payment. Question: why did the bank refuse to make payment? I think that you may have the correct answer. The bank makes the payment only when the documents comply with LC. In the above case, the bank's refusal is reasonable, as the commercial invoice does not conform to the LC. 3. The parties concerned. Next, let's learn about the parties involved in a letter of credit together. 1. Applicant. An applicant is a buyer who applies to a bank for opening a letter of credit in favor of the seller for his account. 2. Issuing bank. Issuing bank means the bank that issues a credit at the request of an applicant or on its own behalf. The issuing bank is usually the bank at the place of the importer. 3. Beneficiary. Beneficiary is the seller who gets the issuing bank's promise to pay if he makes a complying presentation. 4. Advising bank. Advising bank means the bank that advises the credit at the request of the issuing bank or a correspondent bank located in the beneficiary's country. It only proves the authenticity of the letter of credit, and it's not responsible for other things. 5. Negotiating bank. The negotiating bank is a bank ready to pay or discount the documentary bill by the beneficiary under the letter of credit. The negotiating bank has the right of recourse on the beneficiary if it was dishonored. 6. Paying bank. The paying bank is a bank responsible for payment mentioned in the letter of credit. It is usually the issuing bank or another bank appointed by the issuing bank. When the paying bank makes the payment, it has no recourse on the beneficiary. 7. Confirming bank. It is a bank that adds its confirmation to a letter of credit upon the issuing bank's authorization or request. The confirming bank takes the same liability of payment as the issuing bank, which makes a confirmed letter of credit have double guarantee of payment from both the issuing bank and the confirming bank. 8. Reimbursing bank. A reimbursing bank is a clearing bank that is responsible only for paying as instructed, not responsible for checking documents. Please note that applicant, beneficiary, issuing bank, and advising bank are primary parties of LC. The other parties are not so necessary. 4. The content of LC. Now please look at this sample of LC to know about the content of LC. Although the letter of credit issued by different banks have different forms, they all contain the following main contents. 1. Information of issuing bank. 2. Date of issuance of LC. 3. Number of LC. 4. Credit amount. 5. Description of goods. 6. Type of LC. 7. Full name and address of the parties concerned. 8. Documents that shall be provided. 9. Details of shipment. 10. Validity period for LC. 11. Settlement instructions. 12. Free clauses. 13. Special clause, if any. That's all. Thank you for watching.